Hi, fifth graders. We are back and going to be reading 2 more chapters of Save Me a Seat today. So last week when we read, we just started Tuesday. So they finished Monday and the first day of school, and now we're on to Tuesday. And so far, all that has happened is that Ravi and Joe's teacher is doing math, and Joe was really worried he was going to get called on, but it was actually Ravi. Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, chapter 11, Ravi. Ravi, asked Mrs. Beam, would you like to come up to the board? This is it, the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Mrs. Beam, I say quickly, correcting myself. In my hurry to get up, my knee bangs against my desk and all of my school supplies fall to the floor. I don't want to miss my chance to show off my math skills, so I quickly bend down to pick up my things. My glasses start to slip down my nose, but before I can push them up, something hard hits my forehead. It's Joe Sylvester's head. Why has he done this? He bumped into me with his rock-hard head. Can't he see I'm trying to collect my stuff? I rub my forehead as he rubs his. His giant foot is stepping on my name card. Bigfoot, I mutter under my breath. Dylan hears me and laughs. That's rich, he says. Bigfoot just sits there like a lump, but Dylan gets right down on the floor beside me and helps pick up the rest of my things. I thank him for his help, then take a deep breath and straighten my back. I am not going to allow anything to spoil this moment. This is my time to shine. I march up to the front of the class, take the blue marker from Mrs. Beam's hand, and face the whiteboard. I look at the first problem, 23 times 13. I close my eyes and the answer comes to me in a flash, 299. But I'm not going to blurt it out and take a bow. I'm going to show Mrs. Beam something she has never seen before. What you are about to witness is pure magic, a secret handed down from ancient times, I say, with confidence. There is complete silence in the classroom. I think Mrs. Beam's jaw might have dropped. Take your time, I warn myself. I write the 2 numbers, one below the other, in blue marker. Then, with a red marker, I draw an arrow connecting the last digits of both the numbers. 3 times 3 is 9, I say aloud, writing 9 in the ones place with the blue marker. Then I pick up a green marker and draw 2 arrows like a cross. 2 times 3 plus 3 times 1 is 9. I use blue again to write 9 in the tens place. I look at the class. No one is moving. My plan is working perfectly. I draw an orange arrow connecting the tens digits of both the numbers, and then pick up the blue marker again to write 2 in the hundredths place. The answer is 299, I proclaim, underlining the answer 3 times in purple, then finally replacing the cap on the marker with a satisfying click. Everyone is staring shell-shocked at the board, amazed by what I have just done. Dylan Samreen grins and winks at me. I think he is impressed. If this performance has not impressed Mrs. Beam as well, nothing will. Ravi, she says very slowly, looking at all the arrows on the board, your answer is correct, and your method is very colorful, but, what can she mean, but? We do things a little differently here, she goes on, giving me that pitiful look again. Next time, we don't need to see the arrows. Just the numbers will do. The purple marker slips from my hand, falling to the floor. First, my manners are too Indian for her, and now my math? What will be the next humiliation, I wonder, as I walk back to my desk. As if in answer to my question, I suddenly feel my feet go out from under me. I have tripped over something, and when I fall, my glasses go skidding across the floor. What's the matter with you, Pud? Dylan calls out. Why'd you have to trip the new kid like that? What have I done to deserve this? I haven't said a word to Bigfoot, or Joe, or Pudding, or whatever they call him. First, he bumps my head, and now he trips me with his giant foot. Oh, my goodness, are you hurt, Ravi? Mrs. Beam asks, rushing over to where I'm lying on the floor. I want to, 1, show Joe Sylvester what I think of him and his giant foot. 2, tell Mrs. Beam that the only thing that is hurting is my pride. 3, shout at the top of my voice, my name is not Ravi. But here is what I do instead. 1, bite my tongue. 2, pick myself up. 3, go get my glasses. Appa's advice has gotten me nowhere. I'm right back where I started. The only difference is that now, thanks to Bigfoot, I have a bump on my forehead and a huge shoe print on my name card. I just have to say, 5th graders, I am not a fan of how Mrs. Beam handled that situation with Ravi's math. Any way you solve a problem is amazing as long as you're getting to the right solution, right? Goodness gracious, Mrs. Beam. All right, chapter 12, Joe. When Mrs. Beam calls on the new kid to come up to the board to do the first problem, he jumps out of his seat like a jack-in-the-box on a spring. His glasses slide down his nose and all the stuff on his desk goes flying, including his name card, which lands on the floor beside my desk. R-A-V-I. Mrs. Beam has been calling him Ravi, but when he introduced himself earlier, I'm pretty sure he said his name was Ravi, with the accent on the second syllable. As I reach down to pick up the card, he reaches out for it at the same time and we bump heads. Ouch! Dylan gets down on the floor to help Ravi pick up his stuff. I know what he's really up to. Quick as a flash, he puts one of those mechanical pencils down the front of his pants. When Ravi finally makes it to the front of the class to solve the problem, he draws a bunch of crazy-looking arrows on the board, each in a different color. I think it looks pretty cool, but Mrs. Beam is not impressed. He seems pretty bummed about that afterwards. I don't see what the difference is as long as he gets the right answer. Same here, Joe. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, Dylan sticks his foot out and trips him. That's a Dylan Samreen specialty, kicking a person when they're already down. He tries to pin it on me, but anyone with half a brain would see through that. How could I trip him from 10 feet away? My legs are long, but they're not that long. And if we remember, Dylan sits in front of Ravi and Joe sits behind Ravi. So if Ravi was heading back to his desk, how could Joe trip him if he sits behind him? While Ravi goes to get his glasses and Mrs. Beam tries to decide whether she needs to call the school nurse, Dylan reaches back and swipes another one of Ravi's mechanical pencils. I feel bad for Ravi. I could definitely give him some pointers, like for instance, not to leave his stuff lying around and to watch out for winking. Dylan always winks when he's up to no good. Maybe at lunch, Ravi and I will sit at the same table again. I wouldn't mind. His clothes are flat and his lunchbox is weird, but other than that, he seems okay. All right, that is the next 2 chapters in Save Me a Seat. So Ravi solved the math problem on the board. He did it in a way people haven't seen before in his school, and his teacher said that that's not how we do it here. I don't think that's a very nice way to handle a situation. What do you think? I also think Ravi needs to start paying closer attention to how people are treating each other and not worry so much about himself. All right, there will be a response for you to do on Google Classroom after these 2 chapters. Stay tuned for the next 2.